welcome to this Yoga Sutras in the light of Bhagavad Gita. So the last session when we were discussing about the 8 limbs of yoga. That is, when we talk about yoga, yoga is divided into 2 parts. One is the Hatha Yoga and the other is the Patanjali Yoga. So when we talk about Patanjali Yoga, yoga actually means, something. Like it comes from the root Sanskrit word, yuja. So, in this root itself, the meaning of yoga is. So when we talk about yoga, it has come from a root Sanskrit word called yuja. So yuja means to thrive, to practice, to try, to open your arms, to explore. Now, when we put this yuja with 3 kinds of, suffixes, then we have 3 different meanings, and yoga means all these 3. The first meaning of yoga is samadhi. That is, when we talk about this 8 limbs of yoga, that is Patanjali Yoga. So it says Ashtanga Yoga. It says Yama, Niyama, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyana, and the last one is Samadhi. Samadhi means attaining the state of super consciousness. Like now the state in which we are in, this is called conscious state. So there is another state, there's another state which we call dreaming state, and the third one is the sleeping state. So this is conscious state, then we go into this subconscious state, and then we go into unconscious state, that is the dreaming state. Now there is a 4th state which is called Turiya, or in yoga it's also called Kaivalya. This state is the state of Samadhi, that is the state of super consciousness, where we become conscious about the consciousness which we use. So the first meaning of yoga is samadhi, to attain the state of super consciousness. Kaivalya, the state of divinity, the state of unity with God. The next meaning of yoga is to practice, always to thrive for perfection. So that is also yoga. And the third yoga is the means of our life. Like in one of the verses of Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says that a person, I'm not going into the sloka because I'm not going to throw some kind of jargon to you. Lord Krishna says that if a person is devoted to me in such a way that he always thinks about me, that means there is this divine, and we can think about that divine all the time while we are engaged in our day-to-day activity. So it's not a practice where yoga is not a practice where we need to completely separate ourselves from our practical life into and force ourselves into a retreat and then we practice this. It's not like that. Even within our life, our practical life, doing our duties, doing our errands, we can also practice this by remaining. We can remain one with it. We can remain in the thought of it. So Krishna says that the person who is always devoted in the thought of me while he is engaged in any other job, this person is always, he's always connected to me. And I carry yoga and shema. Yoga means all the means and ends of his life. Like we work to attain something, to accomplish something, to gain something, to earn something. And this, what we are earning, we need it for our life. So, while we are working, we are not working only for work. We are working to earn something so that we can live our life in a better way, in a serene way. So that is also called yoga. Anything which we need for our life is called yoga. And shema means protection. I need money. I need money for my life. But I also need that money to be protected. If the money is not protected, then, I don't need that money because that does not have any use. So everything that we need should be protected. We need security also. So Krishna says, a person who is always connected with me, who is always devoted to me, while he is, engaged in is engaged in his world, in his worldly life, I carry all the means and ends for him, and I protect that also. So that is also yoga, is a third meaning of yoga. Now, we need to reach that state of yoga. That is the goal of our life. Why are we living? Because we all know that one day we are going to die. Death is the ultimate truth of this life. So if death is the ultimate truth of this life, why we are not dead now? Because that is the only reality that's going to come. Why I'm living? Why I'm living means because if that is the reality, that is the only reality, then I should die now. This life does not have any meaning. It says no, this life has a meaning. Why? I am leading this life to attain the state of unity with the divine, knowingly or unknowingly. There are people who do it knowingly, and there are people who do it unknowingly. But they're all moving towards the divine. Now, why do we need to move towards the divine? Because that is the only reality. This reality that we see, in front of our eyes is not a reality, because this is the perception of our eyes. This world that you see is the perception that is a perception of your eyes, the perception of your mind. Your eyes and your mind are all limited. They cannot gather, they cannot grasp everything. So whatever they can, whatever they can grasp, that is the world for you. But there is something more than that which you are not aware of. I'm telling you a story. Why we need to know the reality. There was a very poor farmer in India. There was a very poor farmer. He used to farm, he used to work all day in his field. And every day, his wife used to bring food for him. And after taking lunch, after eating lunch, he used to take a nap for some time. And then he used to wake up and again start working. So this was his lifestyle. He was a very poor man. One day, while he was sleeping, his friends waked him up. Hey, wake up. What happened? Your only child is dead. The only child that the farmer had was dead. So the farmer came to his house and saw his wife was crying profusely, and his child and his only child was dead. But the farmer was not crying. He was still. He was just looking. He was just staring at the child, and he was there, calm and quiet, still. So people thought that probably he had a shock. Why he is not crying? He should cry because, his only son is dead. He should cry. He should react. Why he is not reacting? Probably he had a shock. So people wanted him to react. So they said, his friend said, why are you not crying? Why are you not reacting? See, this is your only child. You should cry. The farmer said, yes, I know that this is my only child and I have to cry. But you know what happened? What happened? When I was sleeping, I saw a dream. I saw a dream that I was a king and I had 4 wives and each wife had 4 children. That means I had 16 children. And the time when, I woke up, I was enjoying with my 16 children and my 4 wives, in a garden. At that time you wake me up and you said that my only child is dead. Now I'm thinking for whom I should, I should remorse, for whom I should cry or grieve, whether I should grieve for this only child that I have, or I should grieve for those 16 children that I have lost, or those 5 wives that I have lost, or the kingdom that I've lost just now. So, reality that we know is not reality. It's apparent reality. It's not reality. Reality is reality is experienced then when you become united or one with the, one with the whole, one with the supreme. So this, whatever we say is only apparent. These are all apparent reality. It seems to be real, but they are not real. There is another reality which is experienced when we, when we can transcend our senses, when we can transcend our mind, and we reach into another plane of consciousness where there is only consciousness. So that is the reality. So why do we need to, attain that reality? Because this reality that we see, this reality only produces, profit and loss. This reality produces, worldly happiness and sorrows. This reality produces, victory and defeat, virtue and vice. Everything is dual. Everything is duality. Everything is contradictory. And in this contradictory realm, in this contradictory, in reality, we are all confused. We are all revolving into this. We do not know which one is the real and which one is not real. Which one is truth, which one is not truth. We are all confused. And that is why we never can attain peace. We never can attain stability. We never can attain happiness, satisfaction, joy, fulfillment. We cannot know what is the reality of life, what is the secret of life, because we are always dwelling into 2 things, 2 apparently opposite things. Always. When we talk about mind is 2 thoughts, which are completely opposite to each other. One thought will say, this is this, and another thought will say, this is not this. And this juggling is always going on in our life. So always we are like, oscillating from one reality to another, from another reality to the other in this way. We don't have stability. So we need to know what is real and what is not real. And to know this, we need to attain the state of super consciousness, which is the highest state of a human being. And then only we can experience, we can feel the reality. Now, when we talk about this Patanjali Yoga Sutras, Patanjali Yoga Sutras is based on these 8 limbs of yoga. The first among them is Yama, Niyama. These 2, Yama and Niyama, these 2 are just preparation that our mind needs while we approach to this, to this reality, to this ultimate reality, absolute reality, supreme reality. So that we had discussed a little bit in our last session. Yama. Let us retrospect a little bit. Yama consists of 5 components. The first one is ahimsa, that is non-violence. Non-violence not from our actions. Non-violence not only from our words. Non-violence from our mind. So how can we practice non-violence when we cannot think about harming others in any way? When we can control ourselves from harming others mentally, in the mental level, spiritually, that is the only way by which we can stop ourselves to harm others verbally or by any work physically. So the first thing is non-violence, that is ahimsa. That is, we should, come what may be. Maybe somebody is harming me. Maybe somebody is hitting me. They are causing a lot of pain. They're causing a lot of sufferings to me. In that case also, just bear it. Just bear it. In one of the, when we talk about Bhagavad Gita, if you just look this into the light of Bhagavad Gita, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna at one point says, Adveshta, don't worry, this is just a Sanskrit line, then we are going to, translate it. It says, Adveshta sarva bhutanam maitra karuna evacha. It says, how should a human being be? What is the character of the highest or the most noblest human being? It says, Adveshta sarva bhutanam. Everybody in this world, every object or every, living or non-living being of this world may create hindrance in your path of growth. Anybody, whether it is nature or it is, human being, or it is any creature, or it is any matter, it can create hindrance in your path towards evolution. It can create hindrance in your path towards, development, towards growth. In that case, please don't hit back. Please don't just hit them back. Just bear it. Don't take revenge. Don't have these feelings of vengeance. Don't have this feeling of, hitting back. Don't do this. Just absorb it, accept it. Adveshta sarva bhutanam. And then maitra. Whenever we talk about being a person in this world, we want to be a guide. We want to be a guide, a driving force, a man, caring man. It says, be a friend. Be a friend to everybody. Everybody should feel you like a friend. Don't try to become a guide. Don't try to become a master. Don't try to do good to people. Just become friends. Try to, love everybody, accept everybody. Try to be in such a way where people can depend on you. People can approach you. People can approach you. Be open to everybody so that people can feel, that warmth within you. So, Adveshta sarva bhutanam maitra karuna evacha. Have compassion. So this is what a human being should be. So whatever trouble, whatever sufferings you have from anybody in this world, please don't hit back. Just accept it. That is called non-violence. This character will give you immense strength. If you can develop this character within you, where you will not hit back, this character will give you immense strength. And this mental, this immense mental strength will make your mind obey you in every aspect of your spiritual path. Because in your spiritual path, you will need a mind which will obey you. You don't need an unruly mind. You don't need a mind which does not listen to you, which is always beyond your reach. You don't need that. You always need a mind which is, which is in control, which always obeys you. So how will a mind obey you? Only when you will have strength. Where from this strength will come? This strength will come when you can bear everything, when you will not react to any of the, any of the sufferings or any of the, any of the troubles that you face. Just accept it. So the first one was ahimsa. The next one was asteya. Asteya means not having the tendency to steal, not having greed, becoming, completely free from all kind of greed is called asteya. Third one was truth, satya. What is truth? When we talk about truthfulness, satya means truthfulness. Whenever we talk about truthfulness, the first thing which comes to us is, we should always speak the truth. This is true. We should always speak the truth. But at the same time, we should be very careful that this truth should not harm others. This truth should not hurt others. This truth should not harm others, cause, we should not say something which is not, which is not acceptable. So we should always remember that though we should speak the truth, but we should not speak that truth which can harm people. So that is called truthfulness. And the other definitions of truthfulness, if you promise somebody that you will keep something a secret, so you should, keep your promise. You should not break it. If somebody confides to you that, a secret, that, this is a secret, you should always keep that secret within you till you leave this world, because you have promised that person that you will never speak about that one. So that is also truthfulness. Then if you have taken a vow, if you have taken one promise that I need to do this, then you should always stick to that task. This is truth. And what is the other definitions of truth? The other definition of truth is that if you see injustice in front of you, you should always speak out. If you see somebody is doing injustice to somebody else, you should always speak out. That is truth. And if you see that somebody is doing a good work, a noble work, so you should support it. That is also being truthful. So truth does not only mean that you should speak the truth. Truth has a very, broad spectrum. If you promise something to somebody, you should always keep the promise. If somebody confides some secret to you, and if you promise that person that you are going to keep this secret always, you should always keep that secret within you. You should not discuss it to anybody else. If you see something, injustice happening in front of you, you should always, oppose it. That is also being truthful. And if you see there's something very good which is happening, somebody is doing some good work, supporting that person is also being truthful. So that is called truth. Now, number the fourth one about, yama is brahmacharya. Hello.
I have a question. So you promise to keep the promise to one person, but that could injustice to other, or it's could some hurt others. So how do you balance it?
Can you just write to me? Can you just write, because I cannot listen. I have some problem with my audio. Can you just or Yuri? Can you just type it?
Yes, Swamiji. I'm not sure if I was clear on the question. Michiko, can you repeat it?
Yeah. So is it the keep the promise? If somebody said it's a secret, then you should keep it. But if keeping that promise, keeping the secret, could injustice to another party, or the keeping the secret could harmful to others. And how do you balance it? How do you justify your...
In that case, you should tell that person that this secret is harming somebody else, and thus you cannot keep this secret. You should, you should inform that person before just, before just breaking this promise. You should inform the person that, what I see is that this secret is actually harming others. So this is not good. So I need to get rid of this. I need to get rid of this. You should tell him this, and then you should, do whatever, whatever best you feel. Understand? But don't do it. But if you say that I'm going to keep this promise, I'm going to keep this secret, don't, don't say this without that person's knowledge. That's it. You can just tell that person, say, you see, this is harming others. So I don't think that I should keep this as secret. I should speak it. I should speak about it out loud. And then you can speak about it. Okay. So, the fourth one about yama. The fourth one about yama is brahmacharya. Brahmacharya means to be very sincere in the pursuit of Brahman. Brahman means, infinite. Our self, our nature, our real nature, our self is not this name that I know. Everybody has a name. Everybody has a form. So when people ask us, who are you? So what we say? We say, I am Samantha. I am Cherry. I am Mishiko. We say this. But this is our name which is given to us. This is not our nature. This is not our self. This is a name which has been given to us. What is our real nature? What is our real self? It says it is Brahman. Brahman means, it also comes from this root word called Briha. That is vast. Who I am this vastness, this big one, this vastness. How big I am. So when we, when we measure this length of something, we measure it with time, with space, with individuality, with individual, with causality. So, I am such a big person. I'm such a huge one. I'm such a vast one, which cannot be measured with time. I'm timeless. I'm beyond time. I am, I'm spaceless. Like, what is the distance between, India and America? We say it's like 15,000 miles. Okay. So this distance has been measured by space. We measure this distance by space. Now here, I am so big that I cannot be measured with that space. I'm spaceless. I'm beyond that space. So I am timeless. I'm spaceless, and I am causality-less. Means, any kind of happening, any kind of events, I'm beyond everything. So that is my real nature, and that is why I am called Brahman. That is, I am that big one, the vast one. I am that infinite. Everybody of us, our real nature is this infinity. This is our real nature. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam Brahma. We are Satyam, that is, we are truth. Truth means something which does not, which does not change, which does not mutate, which does not change. That is truth. Truth is something which was, which was the same yesterday, which is the same today, and which will remain the same tomorrow. That is called truth, which is, which is changeless. So I am that truth. I am that changeless. That is, though I see myself to be a body, though I see myself to be a name and a form, but I am not this body, I am not the name, I am not the form. Who I am the self, which is infinite, which, yeah, Atman means I. Thank you. Atman, me, I. I in Sanskrit is called Atman. And Brahman means this is my nature. I am this big one. Okay? Brahman means when I say I am Brahman, I am not speaking about, I am not speaking that this is me. I am speaking my characteristics, my property, my quality. I am Brahman means this is my quality. A universal oneness. These are all are my quality. But Atman means I am that. I am that universal oneness. I am that universal truth. I am that universal consciousness. I am that super consciousness. I am that supreme consciousness. I am the truth. These all are I. I means Atman. Okay? I am Atma Brahma. I am Atma Brahma means this me is Brahman. Okay? This me, this one, which I called me. Now, when you see, when just as an example, as a just as an exercise, we say I. We say I. This is I. This is I. We use this word I. Just try to search. Where is that I within you? Just try to search. You see, where is that I? From here, from this head to the toe. Try to search. Where is I? You will see, there is no I. Everything is yours. My head, my specs, my nose, my tongue, my teeth, my ears, my dress. Everything is yours. Okay? Where is that I? We use this word I, so many times. The most, the highest number of, the highest number of, the most, the one of the most spoken words is I in our day. But try to search this I. Where is this I? You will not find that I. You will not find it. You will see everything is yours. This I is always unmanifested. It's always beyond, it's always beyond. Though you are using it, but you can see it. You cannot denote it. You cannot, you cannot point it. This one is this. You cannot point it. Everything you can point. Everything you say, this is my head. This is my glass. This is my hand. This is my legs. This is my house. Everything you can, everything you can point. But where is me? You can't do it. Where is I? You can't do it. This I is always unmanifested. So the purpose of yoga, or the purpose of spirituality, of Vedanta, of Upanishads, the purpose of spiritual life is to search this I. Where is this I? And what is this I? And realizing this I, feeling it. It's not only knowing about it. It's not only knowing about it. It's not about intellectual knowledge. That I am having an intellectual knowledge about this. It's not having an intellectual knowledge. It's having, experiencing. It's about having experience of this I. It's about having this feelings, this realization. Oh, this is I. The realization, the feelings, that is what spirituality is all about. Yoga is all about. So when yoga aspires for samadhi, in this samadhi, you feel this I. You feel this I. Wow, this is me. This is me. Till you reach the state of samadhi, everything is an imagination. Everything is a perception, a contemplation. But when you enter into the state of samadhi, you leave behind all perception, you leave behind all imagination, all contemplation, everything. You reach to the state of reality and you experience it. Wow, this is me. Yes, this is me. I am this, I am this. I am he, I am he, I am he. Shoham, Shoham, Shoham. I'm not this body, I'm not this mind, I'm not this intellect, I'm not this ego. I'm he, I'm he, Shoham. So, when you reach this point, you feel this. So brahmacharya means being sincere, being diligent to the practice of Brahman. What is this practice of Brahman? Practice of Brahman means practice of perceiving myself to be Brahman, because I am used to perceive myself to be a body, isn't it? Whenever you introduce yourself, what do you say? This is me, this is me. You think that this body is you are used to, you are used to think yourself to be a body. At best, your mind, your ego, I, this I, which always speaks about this I. You can, you can relate yourself being this I. That's it. But you don't know that you are not the body, you are not the mind, you are not the intellect, you are not the ego. You are beyond all this. You're beyond all this. You are the self. You are this consciousness. So being diligent or being sincere to Brahman means being, being sincere to the practice of perceiving myself to be Brahman. Always I have to keep myself reminding that I am not this name. I am not this individual. I am the self. I've always, I always have to keep reminding myself, I am this self, I am this self, I am this self. Okay? So, in the Bhagavad Gita, in one point, Krishna says, Yogastha kuru karmani sangam tektva dhananjaya. Yogastha kuru karmani sangam tektva dhananjaya siddha siddho samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. So what does it mean? Yogastha kuru karmani sangam. It says, whenever you are doing any work, whenever you are doing any activity, any action, what happens? You become the actor. You become the worker. You become the one who is the doer of that work. But you are not that. You are not the, you are not the doer. You are the self. You are the self. You are the consciousness. You are the consciousness through which this work is going on. So when he says Yogastha kuru karmani, he says while you are performing any action, always keep in mind very loud and clear that you are not the doer. You are the self. You are the consciousness. You are the substratum of everything. You are not the doer at all. So you should keep this very, very perfectly, perfectly, imbibed in your mind. That no, I am not this, I am not this. I am the self. Yogastha kuru karmani. While I am doing any work, I should always remember that I am not the doer, that I am the self. And then sangam tektva dhananjaya. Try to keep, try to remain unattached from this world. Try to remain unattached from this world. What is this world? World means your mind. Your mind is the world. Because in the mind, you have this whole world. The whole universe is there in the mind. So when it says, try to be unattached. Try to be unattached from your mind, from your ego. And siddha siddho samo bhritva. While you are working, you are either going to receive, a victory, or you are going to be unsuccessful. Either you are going to be successful or unsuccessful. In both cases, treat them to be the same. Why? Sameness is called yoga. Samatvam yoga uchyate. Yoga means when you come to this state of unity, when there is no difference at all. Okay, so brahmacharya. Brahmacharya is the fourth component of yama. Brahmacharya means being very, very aware that I am the self, I am consciousness, I am not this body, I am not this